Thanks, Miraji. I've really nothing to say. No questions, but I'd love to be able to stay here and talk for about an hour with you, you know? So, but there is one little itch, you know? There's one little itch. And it's yeah, you know, it's this word privilege. It's this word privilege. And like, you know, every day I just have this wonderful feeling of happiness, you know? I'm just completely, completely changed person over the last couple of years, you know? And sometimes you do say about privilege, and like, where can that fit into a normal guy's life like mine? You know, it's. Could you just say a little bit more about privilege and maybe like teach me a little bit more so that I can understand it a bit more? Yeah. So.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Privilege. It begins the day you were born. It's a privilege to have been alive every day that you have been alive. It is a privilege that you can smile. It is a privilege that you can laugh. It is a privilege every time a breath comes into you. Every time that you have felt happy, that's a privilege. Every time you have looked at the stars and admired their beauty, that's a privilege. Every time you've looked at this greenery and said, that looks nice, that's a privilege. You've seen a sunset and it looks nice, that's a privilege. You've seen a sunrise and that looks beautiful, that's a privilege. All that is a privilege. That's what privilege is. When you begin to accept this life, when you begin to accept, you know, because this is what we beat ourselves over the head. Oh, but I'm just a nobody. How dare you? How dare you? The universe was created. And it's pretty fascinating. Believe me, it's pretty fascinating. The other day I was looking at some pictures and they've taken out there with the Hubble telescope, and then it was saying, and you know, that distance is about 1 million light years. And it's like, wow, I have no clue what 1 million light years is. But that distance there from, you know, that place to that place, that's 1 million light years. And from all that has been extracted, and here you are alive. That is a privilege. When does a grain of sand become meaningless? When does a dust become meaningless? Not to me. Not to me. There was a time, you know, I didn't like dirt. I didn't. And I was doing something, driving one of the tractors, and the dirt was everywhere. And I looked in the mirror, and it made my hair look white, and I could see my eyelashes and eyebrows, and I looked, and it was in my nose, and it was everywhere. And I went in the shower, and I turned it on, and the water came, and all the dirt started washing off, washing off, washing off. And I was just standing there. It felt good. I was just standing there. The water was just coming. And I looked down. See this dirt coming out, flowing into the drain. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Dirt is trying to wash dirt away. Dirt, yes, but no ordinary dirt. Moving, feeling, breathing, evolving, transforming. Dirt that has the pleasure to be able to feel joy. That is no ordinary dirt. And that is a privilege. Privilege. Your existence, like I said, is so unique. But we live in a society where that is not admired. A piece of coal that has turned hard has value. A piece of human being has no value. Nobody would take a diamond and throw it around, even if it was used to break a window. But a human being broke a window, they'd be tossed in jail. The value. Our value system does not do us well. We do not value human life. We value innate objects. Somebody hits a Mercedes from the back and it's like, I'll kill that guy. That's how it is. So our society, our system does not play into this thing of pointing to you and saying, my God, you're precious. But you are. And don't you ever forget it. And once you understand how precious that breath is, how precious this life is, then you begin to understand what privilege really means. Then you begin to understand that, yes, to be alive is a privilege. To be here is a privilege. To be given this knowledge is a privilege. To meet somebody who can awaken this heart is a privilege. To have this heart is a privilege. To have this knowledge is a privilege. Because then you are looking things in the right perspective. And then everything makes sense. And when it begins to make sense, one of the most beautiful senses it makes is what a privilege it is. And when you understand that privilege, then the gratitude begins to come. And how is that expressed? Very poetically it has been expressed that if I took all the jungles in this world and made them into a pen, took all the ocean in this world and made it into ink, took all the land and turned it into paper, I would not be able to describe the feeling I feel, the gratitude I feel. That's a lot of pen. That's a lot of paper. And that's a lot of ink. But where do you think that comes from? You know, there's so many people in this world, they read all the beautiful stuff and it's like, wow, that was really nice. You know, really nice writer. Really nice poet. I say to you, you should be saying to yourself, hey, I want to feel the same thing that guy felt, so I can write just like that. Even though I don't write. And maybe I'll never write. That's not the issue. The issue is I want to feel the same feeling. That's the issue.